Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble News channel. It wasn't possible to make a Bitcoin before cryptography, the internet, and modern electronics. You can't make perfect money if you can't make Bitcoin. You can't set up a market where money doesn't change hands and is always true if you don't have perfect money. For when the money comes true, it will be the object used to move money through space and time, right? The right use of cash is at the heart of economics. That's why Satoshi gave us perfect money. With perfect money, it was possible to get, store, channel, distribute, and even plan the flow of capital in a market. In August 2020, Michael Saylor, a well-known American businessman and executive, was named executive chairman of MicroStrategy business intelligence and software firm in Virginia. Since the $250 million purchase of Bitcoin, the company has always used Bitcoin. This is because fiat currencies are losing value all the time and for other global financial reasons. MicroStrategy has kept adding to its shares of the biggest cryptocurrency by market value. Saylor MicroStrategy recently wrote on Twitter that the company had bought 11,931 Bitcoin for $786 million using the money from convertible notes and extra cash. Each Bitcoin was bought for around 65,8183 Bitcoins. The world's money system, Saylor, thinks that Bitcoin will be the foundation of the global economy and financial system after the current paper monetary system falls apart. This is because Bitcoin is truly scarce, has the world's most powerful computer network, and other important qualities. Saylor thinks that Bitcoin will make the world a different place. This means that a lot of institutions and independent nations around the world will start using Bitcoin, that the network will keep growing to add more features, and most importantly, that the price will go up quickly. To see more videos like this, please like this one, subscribe to the channel, and set your alerts to post new videos. We think about how the scientific method can be used in space, right? There were big steps forward in science and the Copernican revolution because of a new tool, right? We were able to make a telescope because optics got better. And for 100,000 years, before the telescope, people looked up at the sky and imagined. They thought they knew what was going on and filled in the blanks with their imaginations and superstitions. Their fears, hopes, dreams, religion, and observations all mixed together led them to the conclusion that the universe revolved around the Earth. If anyone said the universe didn't go around the Earth, they were burned, banned, or not taken seriously. And that is a terrible idea that makes you make a lot of mistakes when you're navigating. Some ideas might be too hard for you to understand, even if they are necessary for progressing society. And the technology was the start of the scientific revolution in astronomy. We could see Jupiter's moons when that telescope was first made. When we could see Jupiter's moons, we could start to figure out how they affected each other and connect their orbits to what we knew about Kepler's laws and math. In some way, engineering and technology changed the way math and physics were taught, which led to a big shift in thinking maybe the universe doesn't revolve around the Earth after all. The fact that that's not how the world works is pretty clear. There was a huge change in the world after that, with Newtonian physics coming next, and then the creation of all the tools that made civilization possible. Before Satoshi, economics was not a real science. People's thoughts, prejudices, and biases are all over this liberal arts school that is kind of sacred. One thing that is needed for an economy to work properly is an instrument. In this case, the instrument is perfect money, also known as proper money. If you don't have an instrument of proper money that doesn't have distortion, then you can't have an economy that works properly. That's why economists before Satoshi used things like seashells, glass beads, bits of paper, and credit instruments to try to figure out the rules of economics. Those are all imperfect tools, right? You could never make a beautiful or perfect device out of them because they are so flawed. And scientific progress can't happen until the right mechanism can be made. So when I say that Bitcoin is the singularity where science and economics meet, I mean that we created a tool that was a mix of the math behind cryptography, the engineering and manufacturing of semiconductors, and the computer science behind the internet. By combining the internet, semiconductors, and cryptography with a few other ideas, we were able to create Bitcoin, which is now a way to keep track of things. Saylor made a big guess about how much Bitcoin would be worth earlier this month, $8 million. He later told Robin that he thought the most popular cryptocurrency would one day be worth $10 million per coin because he thought Bitcoin was the future of money and would last forever. In terms of the economy, perfect money lasts forever, but broken money is harsh. The CEO of MicroStrategy says that before Satoshi gave us Bitcoin, economics was just fake science and ASE religious liberal art. Bitcoin, the average lifespan of a company is 10 years. The business boss said that we're going to get rid of corporate debt and increase economic vitality by 10, 100, or even a million. In the interview, Robin Saylor talks about BlackRock's elliott and other U.S. spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, even though more and more people agree that these funds will hurt the openness of Bitcoin. Saylor says not to be scared. Here are some videos. It wasn't possible to make a Bitcoin before cryptography, the internet, and modern electronics. You can't make perfect money if you can't make Bitcoin. You can't set up a market where money doesn't change hands and is always true if you don't have perfect money. For when the money comes true, it will be the object used to move money through space and time, right? The right use of cash is at the heart of economics. That's why Satoshi gave us perfect money, with perfect money. It was possible to get, store, channel, distribute, and even plan the flow of capital in a market. Also, how deep is that? I mean, the difference between 2% inflation or 2% deflection per year and 0% inflation or 0% deflection is like the difference between living forever and having a life expectancy of 70 years, right? We know how to stay alive, right? It's pretty deep, right? That being said, what's the difference between this kind of money and that kind of money? Perfect money is the end of all economic problems. We all have short, hard lives that end too soon because of imperfect money. There is a time when 40% of babies born between 0 and 5 years old would die, right? Your kids are going to die. It used to be that about 30% of women who give birth die during the process, right? Your kids were more likely to die before science smashed into medicine. It was more likely than not that your wife would die while giving birth. It was a death sentence to get her pregnant 3 times. So you think about what life was like before science changed health, which is a big deal. Astronomy and science getting in touch with each other is a pretty big deal, right? Science is exploding into navigating. A pretty big deal. Now science and business are meeting, which is a pretty big deal. If you look at economic animals, I think the corporation is the most well-known one in modern times. A company has an average lifespan of just over 10 years. If your business lasts more than 10 years, you've lived longer than most people. How many businesses have been around for more than 100 years, right? How many people in the world live to be over 100? Like 0.01% or 0.1%. How many businesses make it to be more than 100 years old? 0.001%. What if I told you I could make your business last forever? In other news, next month, the now defunct Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox will begin giving out assets that were stolen in a hack in 2014. A recent post on the exchange's website says that rep payments will start being made in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Ash in the first week of July 2024. Before each payment, the rehabilitation trustee will have to do their due research. After the news came out, Bitcoin prices dropped a lot. This was the first time in 5 years that the exchange moved more than $40,000 BTC worth $9 billion from cold wallets to an unknown address. It happened early on Monday when the price was below $61,000. As a reward for years of bad luck, early buyers will get their Bitcoin for a lot more than they paid for it. A lot of them are going to sell their Bitcoin right away.